Hi guys, and welcome back to my round 6 recap of the Maia Chess Open. Today I was playing yet another 13-year-old. This is 4 out of 6 13-year-olds. It feels like a perpetual bar mitzvah, and everyone is born in 2011. So I was playing against another kid, except this time he is 1960 rated, so he's the highest rated kid I've played. And I saw online that he plays the Sicilian. Actually, today is the first day I got my prep. So, e4. C5. I don't really know anything about the Sicilian. You'll see that from my online games. I play silly things like the Smith-Morra or whatever. Actually, in post-game analysis, my opponent said he had prepared the Smith-Morra. He said that if I played it, he was gonna take, and he was gonna play like, I don't know, something with like a6, b5, bishop, b7, and like knight c6 and that kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, that would be fine. I was just kind of worried he would try to play something weird and transpose into like an Alpin or something. I just don't even know Alpin theory, even though I'm supposed to because I played the Smith-Morra. But I played the closed Sicilian because I saw a few games where he had played it. I thought he would play pretty reliably the same thing, and he did. He actually played it slightly better than usual because what I had seen in his previous games is he played a combination of e6, g6, which my coach tells me is bad. I know nothing about Sicilian, but apparently it weakens the dark squares. So he played e6, and I played knight e2, and the point is we are going to push this pawn to d4. And I think allegedly this is some kind of system-based closed Sicilian for white, and I basically just got castled, and this is exactly what I thought he would play. So I got my prep. So what you might be thinking is, but Lula, he has played this before many times, surely he understands the position better than you. I saw this one game where he played it against a national master, and I don't really know if my opponent does understand these positions better because he just got like a bad position. But he didn't play this g6, which is better for him that he didn't play it, basically. And instead he played queen c7. But I thought this was also not very good. So I don't really know what he was supposed to play here. It says play knight f6, but then after knight f6, I have like maybe e5. I guess he trades. It's not that scary, but okay, queen c7. And I can still play for d4. So the d4 push. All I knew about this opening going into the game is if he plays e6, I can go for the d4 push. If he plays g6, but not e6, I don't go for the d4 push. And if he plays e6 and g6, I go for the d4 push. So this was like the extent of my opening knowledge. But thankfully he played what was expected. Very nice of him, very considerate. He takes, I take, I have nice horses, knight c6 and bishop e3. I think that the main move is like knight b3, but bishop e3 I saw one of his opponents had played, and you know, it's kind of nice. Bishop f4 apparently is best because if they push, I guess we trade the knights. No, we just have knight d5 first. Okay, I did not really look at this substantially because I did not consider bishop f4. Okay, yeah, so I guess maybe this is why queen to c7 is bad, because here it just allows bishop f4 and queen d8, and then I guess we take, and then we win the pawn on e5 is my assumption. Okay, that looks quite unpleasant. So I didn't play this. I played bishop to e3, which is just a normal developing move. I've connected my back rank and I feel happy. Okay, it's equal. I could have had +1, but I didn't prep for queen c7. This was a deviation. And then knight to f6, yes. So here I was considering rook to e1, or I had seen on previous games this move a4. So the idea of a4 is to play knight a2 after he pushes b4, so like this, and then to hit back with c3, b takes, knight takes, and the knight rejoins the game on the c3 square. So this was an idea that I had seen. This was not something I cooked up, but I think actually it was not very good when I played it, because after a4, which it says is an inaccuracy, it says I should have just played rook e1. So rook e1 is actually my move that I wanted to play, because I was like, well, I was not prepared for queen to c7, so maybe a4 is not good anymore. But then I was thinking back to the winner game earlier this tournament, where I thought I knew better, and I didn't know better. And so here I was like, do you know what? I probably just don't know better. So I did not play rook to e1. But, you know, maybe sometimes I am kind of okay at finding moves. Anyway, I played a4. Okay, it's not so good, but like, it's not a game-losing move. Knight a2, and then here I was wondering if he would like trade or something. Here he usually wants to play a5, but it's not possible here because knight b5, and usually it does weaken the b5 square too much. Again, I know nothing about the Sicilian. Okay, it says h5 for black, but he played knight to a5, and he thought for a while here. You can see he goes down to 38 minutes from 56. I saw this move towards the end of his thinking time. Like, he'd been thinking for a while, and I was like, maybe I should look at other moves. He's probably not going to play something super obvious if he's been thinking this long. I saw knight a5, and I was a little bit annoyed because I was like, okay, I don't really want to allow knight to c4. Knight c4 with a tempo and my dark squared bishop, and maybe you could argue that my bishop actually is on the wrong square. Here, I wanted to essentially discourage knight c4, and I decided now to play rook to e1, because I figured rook to e1 could not be a bad move here. I thought, okay, my e4 pawn has one defender and two attackers, but I thought it was too risky to capture it. And like, it kind of is risky to capture it. He does capture it. Bishop takes, knight takes, and originally I thought after bishop to f4 I was winning material, but there is just queen to b7. But even after I saw queen to b7, I was like, this is completely fine. I'm quite happy, because I feel like I am kind of have a little bit of attacking potential. I was going to say initiative, but that would be a lie because I have a knight on a2. So I decided I need to get my knight off a2. So I go for my normal plan here, like I mentioned earlier, of playing c3. Point being that, of course, it's no good to play b3. I think I can probably just... It's telling me it is kind of good. I just thought maybe I could bring my knight up. I thought I could play knight b4. Okay. Stockfish kind of doesn't like knight b4. This didn't happen in the game. He was quite compliant with the captures. I don't know why. He was very compliant with capturing when I wanted him to capture. So this is the position, and I am down a pawn. But it's not really a position where it feels like you're down a pawn, because black has not castled. And this seems to be a recurring theme. In my last 3 games, my opponent has not castled. I don't know why, if I'm just not very threatening, but people seem to think they don't need to play with like normal opening principles against me, and so they just stop castling. And here apparently rook to c8, best move, just attacking my weak isolated c-pawn. But that does not address the issue of the uncastled king. And my opponent wants to address the issue of the uncastled king, which is very natural. And so he plays bishop to e7. But I think bishop to e7 is not possible because of knight to f5. And so I play knight to f5. So this is another nice little pseudo-sacrifice. If he takes, I get the piece back. I really thought he was not going to take. It says, okay, knight f5 isn't an accuracy. It wants me to play rook b1 with the tempo and the queen first. But actually, I wasn't sure if getting a tempo and the queen would be better, because I'm not sure if maybe the queen could move somewhere that it ended up being more useful, because the queen is not actually doing very much where she is on b7. I didn't think it necessary to throw in b1, rook b1 immediately. Knight to f5 and captures, and here I had originally considered queen d6, but then there is just knight to c6. And I was also looking to see if this sacrifice worked, so I spent some time. The sacrifice does not work. It works if he blunders, so it does not work. If a sacrifice only works 2/3 of the time, the sacrifice does not work. It works if he plays this move here, because then I have a beautiful queen sacrifice for checkmate with queen to e8. I'd calculated this. Bishop is covering this square. It's like a little back rank checkmate almost. So it works here, but it does not work if he plays the actually sane move, king to d8. And here there is simply nothing, and I am just down material. So I did not go for this sacrifice because I'm not winning anymore. And so instead of sacrificing further material, I simply played bishop to d6. And quite a lot of people actually came over to look at the board around this time. I think they just thought I was down a piece. So to the haters out there who thought I was simply down a piece, like, I don't know, why do people come up to my board, look at the position, and then look at me like this? Like, they are looking at me like they're judging me for something. I'm not being paranoid. They genuinely do it. It's bizarre. Okay, it doesn't like bishop d6 because it still wants rook b1. It's really tied to the idea of rook b1. After queen c6, it wants queen d4. I don't know. I kind of like this. I think I played very naturally. Castles and rook takes. And so now I have very nice active rook. I am starting to have some threats. Okay, once bishop takes, I thought rook takes was nice. Knight to c4 attacking the bishop, and just simply bishop back. So I have lots of pressure on d7. I have active rooks. And I have the superior minor piece in the ending. One thing I found out this morning when I was prepping in the 15 minutes of prep time I had for this game was don't trade my bishops for my opponent's knights. In this opening. This was, when I am learning an opening in 5 minutes, I need to learn concrete ideas, which usually in chess don't exist, but Okay, don't trade my bishops for knight. So I managed to get the bishop for the knight. So in my head, I was like, this must be good. We have an open board. I have the bishop. And the knight actually is a little bit clumsy because he doesn't have a comfortable square to live on, which is defended by his own pawn. So rook a to d8, defending the pawn on d7. A necessary move, but passive. Obviously, you don't want to play it. I played queen to d3. Queen to d3 is actually an accurate move. And as you will see, Stockfish says it's 0-0-0, but I think I am putting all the pressure, which is quite a nice thing to be able to say when you're playing somebody who is 300 points higher rated than you. So queen to d3, of course, is a little fork on the knight and the pawn, but more realistically speaking, it's asking the knight where it's going to go, because the knight can't really go anywhere. Actually, I thought he was going to have to play queen to c6 to defend the knight. And then I thought maybe I would be able to put more pressure. So I thought that anything like knight b6, I have rook b1, and then I'm preparing a5 and stuff like this. And obviously this just blunders the knight if it goes anywhere else. I thought this was also bad. So actually he played this move, queen to b2, and here I missed a win. My opponent blundered, and I missed rook e1. This is the win in this position, which I don't think is very easy to find. Because in this position, I'm aware of the fact that we are both under 10 minutes, and we have 17 moves to make until time control. So I was not in the business of looking for an extreme amount of time for a win right now, because it didn't seem obvious to me that there was one. But I should have really known something was up, because I knew that this knight was like almost trapped. And the point being actually is that the queen has to do something, otherwise the queen is getting trapped herself after rook b1, rook eb1. And like, if the queen gets to escape, the knight gets trapped, basically. So you win material. And this is a win that I missed, but okay, I actually thought that queen b2 was a move I just had not seen, but it does feel kind of wrong. I played rook b1, he played queen a3. So I was like, hold on, that hangs the knight, but then it attacks my rook. So I was like, never mind. But here I just take the pawn. So we grab this pawn here, and then my opponent grabs on c3. And then my opponent offers a draw. So I'm a little bit better, and I knew I was a little bit better here, and I knew that I was the one putting pressure. But I have, as you can see, 1 minute when I accept the draw, because we had less than 5 minutes left, and we still have 15 moves to make until time control. And when it comes to 13-year-olds, I think a lot of the time that they will be able to out-blitz me. And so actually, he offered the draw, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? I think I can take this draw. And yeah, it's like plus 0.7. I'm not missing a big win here. Yes, I missed rook e1 trying to trap the queen, but it was not the easiest find. So we drew. And then we went to the analysis room and we analyzed the game together on stream. And then after that, I opened the Twitch chat. And then Twitch chat reminded me that this tournament has Sophia rules. I almost threw up because I was like, what is going to happen now? Because I realized that we had broken Sophia rules. If you don't know what that is, it means that you're not allowed to offer a draw before move 30. So you can make a draw via threefold repetition or perpetual check, but not via draw by agreement. And this is something that I had just entirely, completely forgotten, because I was fully engrossed in a game of chess, and my opponent, 300 points higher rated than me, offers me a draw. I am thinking about seriously accepting that draw, and I was not even thinking about the fact that we are 5 moves away from move 30. I panicked. Like, I had a huge panic. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know, like, if I was going to be in big trouble or what, because this was obviously not done on purpose. And so I ran with my score sheet to find the arbiter, and I was like, I have a big problem. Like, I've made a draw, and we've already analyzed, and only when my Twitch chat told me, did I realize that we were not allowed to draw before move 30. And he was like, it's fine. So I don't think they're mad at me. I really hope they are not mad at me, because it was not intentional, and I was like almost crying, because this is my best ever draw, and I was just thinking, what if they take this away from me? Like, what if they, like, don't count the game? And then I was even having thoughts like, what if my opponent, like, did it on purpose? to try to get the game disqualified because he did not want to draw to someone 300 points lower. But that was just a conspiracy theory in my head for 2 minutes, but I really don't believe in that. I don't think my opponent did do that, because actually when I went to find the arbiter, I saw him and I told him, and he was like, oh, like, oh my gosh. And then when the arbiter said it was fine, my opponent was like, okay, like, good, because I really didn't want to have to play that position again. But like, I don't really know what is supposed to happen there, because we had already analyzed the game, and so like obviously we would not have been able to go back to the position because we had like fully discussed the game. And so yeah, I feel very bad that we accidentally did this. But then when I spoke to more people about it, they were like, this rule only exists to prevent like 15-minute prearranged draws and like 2-move draws, not to like penalize people who have played 3.5 hours, like a real game of chess, used all their time, and then agreed to a draw. Because we did play a real game of chess, and like there is no way an almost 2000 rated player is happy to make an easy draw with me. No way. That is something that he decided, I guess, because of the time situation and the fact that I had the better minor piece and the fact that I was the one putting pressure. So he offered me a draw and I took it. And this is the second draw I've made in this tournament where I have slightly better position. And one of my friends was a bit mad about it because he was like, at some point you're just going to have to start being a bit greedier and winning these positions. But the thing about these two positions where I've been slightly better but drawn is I know that I'm better. Like, I can feel it, but I'm not convinced I know how to win it. And that's the difference. I don't think that if you gave me this position against 1950 that I would like win it many times out of 10. But yeah, I was very happy to make a draw. Like I said, this is my best classical result. So drawing an almost 2000 rated player. So I'm very happy. It means I'm going into round 7 on 50%. I have 3 out of 6. It means that I have another tough pairing tomorrow. I'm actually having a good tournament. Fingers crossed, touch wood, that stays. But yeah, I'm feeling better about this after the blunder I made in round 4, because again, in round 4, if you didn't watch the recap, I said that I did not feel like my 1930 rated opponent really did outplay me, and he didn't. I just blundered a tactic. And it's nice to have that backed up, that players of this level are not all just outplaying me and that I can compete with them. That feels good, and I will be back tomorrow with my round 7 recap. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my first ever time playing the closed Sicilian. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next recap. Bye guys!